All right, so Eric Rayweather, he's a really prominent, football YouTuber, football game YouTuber. He has 7 big features to expect in college football 27. I feel like we should watch this and just see kind of where his head is at for like some features we should expect come around July.
We're about halfway through the college football 26 season, so it's time to start talking about some early expectations for college football 27. In this video, I'm going to go over 7 big features that have a very good chance to be in the upcoming college football game based on some rumors, based on some leaks, and also just based on some common sense as well. Now, if you're new to this channel and you never want to miss out on any of the important videos as it pertains to college football 26 or college football 27, which is coming out in a few months, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on so you don't miss any important videos when they go live. Would love to hit 700k subs before the release of college football 27, so if everybody watching just subscribed, we can hit those numbers in a few days. Now, one thing I would say that the college football team is pretty decent with is listening to feedback. Even if they couldn't get everything in the game for 25 and some of those things for 26, we saw from 25 to 26 that they did add a good amount of things that fans wanted. And when 26 came out, there was a lot of feedback given towards that game, the direction they took for certain features, or the fact that other things still weren't there. So going into 27, we kind of have a decent idea of some big things that they'll probably be doing for the game. Some of these I've just heard rumblings of for the past few months. Some things have kind of been leaked and talked about from other publications, but let's get right into it. Number 1, let's start with Road to Glory, which is a very big mode, a full high school experience. Now, this was one of the biggest pieces of feedback when 25 dropped, that there was no high school at all. So we kind of knew they would put it in 26, and they did, but they did it differently than they did in the previous games from 10 plus years ago.
And a lot of people didn't like it.
It was a shortened high school experience, and depending on who you ask, some people liked it, but a lot of people, it seemed like they wanted the full high school season. I think going into 27, we can expect them to kind of course correct on that, because it was one of the biggest pieces of feedback that they had around this game was that, yeah, we're glad you gave us high school, but most people wanted a full season. Even though for some people like me, I don't really like playing a full season because it kind of drags on, but I understand that a lot of people want that experience. They want to slow build up their player, get their stats up, and then get their offers from schools. So with all the feedback that was given around that particular part of the mode, it seems like they're going to try to course correct that, and if not make a full high school experience, at least make it last a little bit longer than it did, because this year was just a few moments from about 4 different games, and I think they have to expand on that, and they will for college football 27. Number 2, sticking with Road to Glory, more positions. Now, this has been one of the biggest pieces of feedback that not only college football has gotten, but even the Madden series has gotten for some years now. We have not seen any updated positions for about 4 years, dating back to Madden when they brought Superstar Mode back. And you might be asking, well, what makes this year so special that they're finally going to add more positions? Simply put, it's just been one of the biggest pieces of feedback around not only this game, but Madden for years. And now that college football has been back for multiple years and it is continuing to sell well, and it's such a big game, this is one of the areas of the game that absolutely needs the most attention. It's a lot of people's 100%. Favorite mode, and when you just had Madden, you could probably push it to the side a little bit and say, well, we don't really need more positions than we have, because it's not as big of a mode, I think, for Madden as it is for college. But now with both games, having people that want to play
Road to Glory is college's like biggest mode,
depending on who you ask. Has just kind of been one of the biggest things holding both modes back, and with it being multiple years of no new positions being added, and it continuing to be one of the top feedback requests from people that play the game, they just have to add more this year, whether it's adding a safety or a tight end or a pass rusher. I'm not saying they're going to add multiple new positions, but I would be very surprised if in college football 27 there's not at least one new position added to this mode. Now we're going to continue on with 5 really other big things that are likely going to happen in college football 27, but really quickly, here's a word from today's video sponsor. One thing I loved as a kid and still love today is opening up sports cards. It's just with the Ruby football pack personally, and when you click on it, it'll even tell you what first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/Rayweather and use code Rayweather. Moving on to number 3, FCS teams. Now, this was something that was even rumored a couple years ago to possibly be in college football 25.
This would be so
but then
fire.
As we got closer to the release of the game, they did come out and say that FCS teams were something that was definitely going to be coming sooner rather than later, but they wanted to nail down the existing teams first. And they've done a pretty decent job of that. There's still some work to be done there in terms of not every team has their mascot.
Team builder
but
is so
most of them
annoying,
are in
man.
the game at this point. Not every single team has their traditions 100% accurate, but a lot of the big to middle-sized schools do. So they're going to continue working on that a lot for 27,
Southern
but I do
Jags.
think 27 is where we possibly see them introduce FCS teams, because it has been another very big request. And while maybe not the biggest deal to everybody that plays the game, I think this is something that a lot of the diehards will appreciate, especially people that play in Dynasty or Road to Glory, because maybe they want to play for an FCS team or rebuild an FCS school. They said this is something they wanted to get in the game sooner rather than later. So with this being the third year of the game being back, it seems like
so
it's
many
about that time,
teams,
because
so
if
I
it
just
doesn't
don't
come
see
this
them
year,
doing
then
it.
it feels like it's more of a later rather than sooner thing. And since they do have most of the other regular teams kind of nailed down for the most part, I would be surprised to not see FCS inclusions in this year's game.
They'll definitely do inclusions.
Number 4, mascot mode. This is something that has also been pretty heavily requested. To my surprise, I didn't think that people really cared that much about mascot mode. It just kind of seemed like an extra thing in the older games. But when 25 came back, this was honestly one of the biggest requests for the game. People were pretty upset that this wasn't in the game, to the point where I was seeing some people say that they wouldn't buy the game unless it had mascot mode, which I think is a little silly because it's just such a small part of the game. But it just goes to show that there are people that are very passionate about it. And I don't think it's one of those things that's that hard to incorporate. And we've heard rumors that mascot mode is something that they want to put back in the game. Before, we just assume they probably weren't going to be bothered with it, because in today's times they probably just felt like, oh, we don't need this in the game. But we have heard rumors that no, it is something they want to put back in the game, and they have supposedly been working on it. Now, that's not confirmed or official, but I would be surprised if mascot mode was not in College Football 27, especially with the fact that we have most team mascots in the game now, and with 27 they'll probably get most of the remaining ones that are out there. I'm not saying we're going to have every single last one, but we'll probably have 80 to 90% of all the mascots coming in 27, which makes it a good time to bring back mascot mode now that every single mascot will pretty much be in the game with the release of next year. So mascot mode, something I would definitely be expecting in College Football 27. Number 5, the spring game. This is something that I think would make Dynasty mode a little bit more enjoyable. Don't think it's the biggest deal in the world, but it has been something that I've seen requested a lot, even dating back to 25. A lot of people would like to see the spring game added to Dynasty, and for me, this is kind of a small thing that I really don't think would be a hard thing to add. I mean, not saying anything is really easy when it comes to video games. Everything's harder than it appears, but if you had to rank things from easy to difficult in video game terms, this is probably something that would be on the easier end for them to do, and a lot of people want it in Dynasty mode, so why not? It's definitely something that's been rumored to happen. It seems like it's on the easier end of things, so while this one is maybe one of the ones I'm not the most confident about, I do think there's a pretty good chance we could see this in College Football 27. Number 6, Stadium Creator. Now, this is one of the big things that I think could be a very big selling point for 27. And the thing with EA, and this goes back for many, many years in Madden and even the FIFA game, every other year we tend to see bigger improvements to the game. So when 25 dropped, of course, it's a brand new game. We all love it. 26 comes out, they build on it, but 26 didn't feel like there was any big new thing added. Other than maybe the addition of high school, there was no really big bullet point features. It was more so building on what they established in 25. Now comes 27. This is the year where you see them kind of add multiple big things back to the game, and I believe Stadium Creator is possibly going to be one of those, because it's already was rumored in 25 that this is something they want to put in the game.
Because they have
something they have begun working on. And it's really the one true thing that Team Builder's missing. I mean, Team Builder is pretty good as is. I'm not saying they can't make it better, but the one big thing it is missing is the ability to just build your own stadium.
Which would be so nice.
This is also something
because if they do that, it means they do it in Madden, and I would love to build. Like, people don't understand. There's small things like that just, it makes it so much more fun to play the game. Like, you can make your own stadium in Madden. You can make it feel like, your own stadium. Like, the last time, like, the first year we had what we have in Madden was Madden 25. That is so long ago, to the point where it is literally like 12 years ago, right? So it's been 12 years since we've gotten an update. So, like, if we could build our own stadiums and we could do everything else, it would be so good for the game, because a lot of people would just buy it just because of that.
Madden, and I say when you can put something in the game that can benefit both of your football games, that's a no-brainer, because that helps sell both games. So knowing this is something they want to do, and we're third year into the release of this game very soon, this seems like it would be the time to put this in the game. Unless it's just not ready yet, then it could get pushed back to the following year, but I think there's a good chance we see this. Number 7, brand new equipment. Now, this is especially a big deal for college because there's a lot of people that play the college game that are very passionate about the equipment in the game. And for some people, you know, I know they don't care about this at all, and that's fine. But when College Football 26 dropped, there was a lot of backlash on Twitter and on forums about how the equipment wasn't up to date enough. They were, you know, giving us some new things, but there were a lot of big things that you see every day in college football for many years now that didn't exist in the game. Things like updated mouthpieces that actually are attached to the helmet. Things like the ability to wear only one leg sleeve. Things like turtlenecks. The ability to wear multiple different bands on an arm instead of only being able to put one at a specific area on the arm, right? We see players in college football and in the NFL get really creative with their equipment and what they wear on field. And there was a lot of pushback at the beginning of this year about how we just really couldn't do that to the same level in college football, to the point where there have been multiple equipment updates throughout the year. They have added some new things. They have tried to kind of smooth it over with
Which
the
is kind of cool that they added equipment over time.
Requested were going to be things that were going to be pushed to the next year's game, which is now College Football 27. So in 27, I would expect to see a very big overhaul to equipment in a big way, meaning not only just getting new cleats and face masks and helmets, which are things that we kind of expect every year, but actually getting things that have just not been in the game before. Again, the new mouthpieces, the ability to wear one leg sleeve, the ability to wear things like turtlenecks, maybe ski masks, maybe different customization as it pertains to sleeves and armbands. I think you're going to see a very big equipment overhaul for 27 because it is something that got a lot of attention. The devs have acknowledged it and that they're working on it. So for 27, I think we're going to see a lot of stuff in this department.
I think that he hit the big things. What I really want to see is obviously stadium. I want to see a lot. But, you know, 26 is good. It's good. I just want to see improvement, you know?